possible by giving energy a rhythm the grid can carry. Once that is understood, electricity stops looking like a background service and starts looking like one of the most delicate agreements in everyday life. Transmission lines carry distance. The easiest mistake is to treat tall steel towers, long cables, cleared corridors, and wires crossing fields and hills as a simple convenience. Electricity is so familiar that it can feel almost weightless, as if power simply appears whenever a person asks for it. But behind that ordinary scene is high voltage, distance, resistance, route planning, insulation, weather, and public right-of-way. The current that reaches a room is not a small private miracle. It is the result of a public system that has to stay balanced while millions of demands arrive at once. Think of it as a set of elevated roads for electrons. That image matters because electricity is not really stored in the wall, waiting in silence. It is produced, transformed, routed, protected, measured, and controlled across a network that is always adjusting. Some parts of that network are huge and visible. Others are buried, locked away, or hidden inside the objects people use without thinking. Together, they make modern routine feel effortless. This is why power often travels farther than the people using it will ever imagine. A switch, a charger, a train, a pump, a hospital monitor, or a server does not stand alone. Each one is part of a chain of equipment and labor that has to answer demand safely. When the chain works, electricity feels like background. When it fails, people suddenly see how many habits depended on it. There is also a human side to the system. A city can depend on a line crossing farmland, forest, desert, or mountains before it reaches a neighborhood. Electricity shapes comfort, work, health, food storage, communication, safety, travel, and the rhythm of night and day. It decides what can be automated, what can be cooled, what can be kept alive, and what can happen after dark. The grid is technical, but its consequences are deeply personal. The hidden life of electricity is hidden partly because it is successful. It vanishes into usefulness. It becomes light, motion, heat, cold, sound, information, and care. Transmission turns faraway generation into local possibility. Once that is understood, electricity stops looking like a background service and starts looking like one of the most delicate agreements in everyday life. Substations change the scale. The easiest mistake is to treat fenced yards filled with transformers, busbars, switches, insulators, and warning signs as a simple convenience. Electricity is so familiar that it can feel almost weightless, as if power simply appears whenever